Hilariously, I have been quiet the whole time. Somebody has just told me. Oh well, I've been going for a good hour now. But you've been hearing music and me painting, so whatever, close enough. We've been very busy, I was saying. We filmed a lot this weekend. I mute because I have a tendency to have problems when I get logged in, and then I, of course, forget to turn it back on. Oh well. Gosh darn it. Thanks, Sopal. It's okay. This has been kind of a relaxing paint stream, so. The paints are starting to dry a bit, which, because I don't have a wet palette here. Too wet. And it's actually not enough paint because that just wicked up really easily. So I may need, oh wait, there's still black in there. I wonder why. Maybe it's just too wet and too much. I think I need a little bit more white. That one's not good. Past game one, you know, we didn't, it is true, we only did that because of the Kickstarter. I mean, not the Kickstarter, it was nominated for an SDJ. You know, we, at the time, we were not doing, we didn't want to do campaign games. And then we did do the initiative and we did the whole thing. The problem with doing those kinds of things is it's not, folks don't really want to watch them all, you know what I mean? That's why we were switching, right at the beginning of the pandemic, we did Clank Legacy. And we played the first one on the show with Dave and Deborah. And the plan was, because we had already been doing some streaming of a puzzle game called The Wilson Wolf Affair, which was amazing. That's on YouTube. They might even be on the games page on BGG, if it's, I believe there's a page for it, maybe. So we were looking for something else to stream, and then the pandemic happened, and Dave, Dave immediately went up to help take care of his parents. And so I wasn't even sure, I didn't even know that was happening. I mean, I knew it was going on, but he immediately went up there to take care of them, and which was great. I mean, I think it was super clever that he figured out that was going to be an issue and went up there to help them. And then, as I said recently, he had gotten a COVID test right away. I didn't even know they had them at that time. And so he was nervous about getting his parents sick, just as I was, because I had been traveling at the beginning of 2020 a lot. So I was nervous about getting my mom sick, and we started to hang around with her, I think, a little bit before I got that test, but we were also wearing masks. The reality was, I mean, I had no idea. You know, I had no idea what the story was, what we need to worry about, and so I was super nervous because, you know, they were like, you could have it and you don't even know it, and I'm like, oh man, that's terrible, because I traveled in flights internationally to Europe twice. Ultimately, it was really kind of a drag. So I'm going to try to fix this horrible mess of this one here. Now I'm going to be painting green over this flesh. So I want to put more white. I'm going to wait because I just touched all that up a little bit. Let me put a little more on there. I want a little bit more white for his eyes. It's a common thing here with these Marvel or these characters. They have white eyes. I think Joker, does Joker have white eyes? Yes. Oh no, he's got irises, pupils, but the Robin has white eyes. Pretty sure somebody else, maybe Batman does. Batman does, but you know, he's got some sort of cowl thing going on. I don't know. Come on, caught up on Harley Quinn and her pom-pom. Okay, there is not enough white in that eye. Dang it. This is exactly what Nick Murphy was talking about. Just a little bit too much, and it might be okay though. Woof. Paint is definitely, you want it to be, you just don't want as much on your brush. You want it to be able to flow out of the brush pretty easily, but not so wet that it just flows everywhere. Brush just may be too big as well for this. You really need like a, I mean, this is pretty fine. I don't have many that are finer than this. Hey, Time Roller. Okay. And I think we've only played, I'm not even sure we played any of the other Pandemic Legacies now that I think about it. We really want to play Season 0, but we haven't done it yet. So one of the things that happens with the paints as they dry is they become more gelatinous in both, well, at least in my experience with, the 3 that I've dealt with. I've used the Army Painter Speed Paints, the Citadel Contrast Paints, and I never remember the name, but I actually have it on the tip of my tongue today, the Express Colors from Vallejo. Now, I just got pink on his teeth. Don't know that I should worry about it, but I probably will. Yeah, those are fun, but we just can't do them. We can't cut. The problem with it is if we were to do a live stream thing, that'd be great, but we can't. Everybody is so busy. Everybody is so busy that we just don't. Live streams with others are generally a very rarity, so we won't make regular episodes out of that kind of stuff as much as we'd like to play it. Because there's just too many games that we'd like to do. And that season we played 7 episodes of the initiative. And, you know, they're getting more views nowadays as time goes on, but, you know, people don't watch it because they want to play it. And so it didn't, it's okay, but, and the designer was very happy. He has a new game out that I want to check out, but yeah, it's not likely. Because like Deborah will be gone soon to be filming Daredevil Season 3, Daredevil Born Again, which is cool. But I understand people liking that. We don't, you know, that's a campaign thing. We don't really do campaign stuff, even though we have. Mostly, Mostly just one-offs. So, let me see if I can do a tiny bit of wash, just this. I really think I need a smaller brush than this one. I do have smaller brushes, theoretically. Wow, this is one I haven't used in a long time. Probably not a good one. It really needs to be kind of long and thin, but I don't feel I have a lot like that. Let me see here. Why is that not going in there? Okay, there we go. What's the typical delay from when you film to when an episode airs? It really depends. We did, last week we did Take Time, and that was filmed probably 2 weeks before. This week's probably 2.5 weeks, but sometimes it's a while. Last year we did, for the season finale, we did Shakespeare with Deborah and Gavin. And Gavin thought we weren't going to use it because I waited so long. But the thing was, is I was trying to save a longer, more interesting episode. Also, that took a lot of time to film. We had some issues. Nothing, it was just long. You know, we added a element to the game that, wow, did I have it already out? We added an element to the game that, oh, it's already here. No. That takes a little bit. Painty, thanks. How you doing, Chris? That, you know, it took, we added the expansion, which makes you think, you know, you have to think a little bit more because you have more things you can do, which is great, but added definitely to the length of the game. And it was also Gavin's first time teaching a game night. He was super nervous about it. And of course, it was the last time Gavin's, probably for at least a long while. He had to, we had the fires at that time. I cannot remember if we did that before. I'm sure it was after the fires. And they were struggling. They had to move out of their house because it didn't have a problem, but the lady that owns it, first of all, they left to San Diego to with their kids to avoid the smoke because they were south. I went and visited Mike from our show. Literally the day after, we had a scary thing here at our house, and we're near the hills, but we're not usually part of the concern for that stuff, almost ever, but it was very close. And so the next day I was scheduled to go to a computer show, Olympics time. I was scheduled to do an Olympics show with, not Olympics, I'm sorry, a computer show that was like a retro computer show with, or retro gaming too, I think, with Mike downtown. And we went, but I went on the other side of the hill and I was like, holy cow, because, you know, on our side of the hill, it was wide open, you know, clear. We did have bursts of fire, and Dave lives on the hill. he wasn't there, but he had us check on things. But yeah, we saw multiple fires. The one that I think so. Yeah, when I went to that show, I came home, and I told Nikki we'd go out and to eat. And when we got to the restaurant, I think they were open, but they were closing. You know what I mean? They were freaking out. The fire was directly behind them in the hills, and so we didn't go. But yeah, so they didn't have a place to move, so they moved back east. Gavin's actually from the UK, or actually from Hong Kong and the UK, and his wife is an actress as well. I think she's stage. But yeah, he's a great guy, man. We really bonded with him real quickly, and then as we were getting him on the show, we couldn't. We ended up he had to move. Real drag. Happens occasionally. But yeah, we have some episodes that could go a long time. It really depends. Part of it is sometimes we'll film it and it isn't available in the US, and we will wait. For example, we had an episode a little while back of called Fruit of Play with Rusty, and that was, it even went longer because I missed the US release. I went to BGG Con and I saw multiple copies of the game there. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's available. So I had to get it prepared to go live, but it worked great. I mean, I'm real happy. We actually have an old episode that we filmed 3 times, and I don't think I have the original. I might, but I don't think so. I think I ended up deleting it. But the funny thing is I wish I hadn't, because It was with Christoph and another of the SDJ jury. Steph, who was on another episode for that, but there was a problem with it, with that one. And then the second one, there was a problem with Deborah and Mike. I found that one recently. I may edit it and just put it up. We do have a few secret episodes. Generally things that went wrong. So it either never came back, or never got refilmed, or a couple things like that might have happened. One of them was a game called Castelli or something like that, from I think it was from gosh, I don't remember, it might have been Renegade. Doesn't seem right, but maybe. Like, I got too wet of the paint and it's on his tongue, and I want to wick that out of there. Good gosh. Okay, back to this. It is Maestro Hulk. It is why he has green skin. I believe it's part of the base game of the Marvel Multiverse box set, the main box set. I have not done much green skin, so it's pretty cool. Thanks for joining us, Skibbers87. Your first time chatting. Thanks for chatting. I don't know anything about Maestro Hulk. Okay. So what else do I want to do here? This one doesn't look so great. Is that the, yeah, that's why, because it was one of the ones I touched up. So the first one's teeth are the best, sort of. Kind of messed them all up, I think. And what I think is happening is they're drying and leveling out a little bit, which is okay because I'm using a wash and not a paint. Wow, you did all your Marvel United minis? That's fantastic. I've painted a lot, but I haven't painted them all. I mean, I've got hundreds to go because I have not only, like, I've finished most of the season 1 stuff. Well, that's not true. I've finished a lot of it. I think I'm down to about 15. I think I'm done with mine, and then there's a few others to paint from the other sets that I picked up. Not picked up, but I've said I would paint because I'm doing Aldi from the owner of BGG's paint minis, and I'm doing a friend of mine his as well. And I mean, I've had his for a year and a half, something like that. I really need to get those done. We do have the DC Superheroes United Batman Hush that I will do here. We'll do as a show. Hey, you know what? There's a problem. I don't have any wash on the bottom of the teeth there. That is why it's looking weird. One of the reasons. But yeah, I want to do the Batman Hush as an episode. Soonish. I really wanted to do it last weekend, but we just didn't have it together because I had finished painting them that week. I am hopeful that the rest of that stuff delivers. I mean, of course, I put a lot of money into it. Really hopeful. Okay, green flesh. Let's see how I can do here. I do have some Marvel Zombicide to paint. I have a few boxes that I did not go in. Scott was like telling me, Aldi was telling me I should do it. And I just did not want to. First of all, I just don't need any more minis. I really, if they do, I mean, it'll have to be a pretty great United if they end up getting back to being able to do this before I can afford the time plus the money. I mean, it's expensive. I put a lot of money into this. Is there like a yellow green? I mean, there's this striking scorpion. It's. I think I'm just going to try to do a. I'm going to try to do a a glaze over to do some of the highlights. Let's see here. So I'm going to use this one. I think I'm going to go with a little bit of a contrast medium on this. Let me clean the palette out. I did not wash it this afternoon, and I should have, because there's dust, and it is really a problem. You need to, I mean, I love the fidget popper. It's very, very great at letting you just pop the paint out when it's dry. For this contrast paints and the speed paints, it's really easy. I don't love it as much for the regular paints, that's why, and I also prefer to use a wet palette, but I didn't prep my wet palette today. So, let me shake this up. But also, Amos01 was also asking about the time between release, you know, filming and release. And that that is really one of the things, the reason why that Shakespeare one took a long time was because it's a tremendous amount of, you know, it's hours and hours of stuff. And if we tend to cut out, I mean, we cut out breaks if we take breaks. And we don't take many breaks, but we would be bad in Hollywood. And we are in Los Angeles, but it would not be good. So one of the things I like is I would like to build up to the intensity. So I start, one of the things is these paints actually kind of act as a glaze. So, you know, so if you start with it light and then add more to darken it up, then it works pretty great. Now this is the end of this paint here. I have the mixing ball in there. Let me just put it over here because this is done. This is the first mixing ball I've added to a paint. Here it is right here. That I am pulling back out when it's done. So these were, I don't think they sell them anymore. These are from, I keep talking about them too, but I just recently looked for them on the website and I don't think Monument Hobbies sells these anymore. There's got to be some folks out there. I mean, you can get the stainless ones, stainless steel. I am not a big, I mean, I have plenty of stainless steel mixing balls. Any of the Army Painter I have nowadays has 2 of them in it. So yeah, I'm using the glaze medium, and I added a little water because it is the end. So what you really should do is mix the paints together at the end of your bottle. When you get another bottle together, you mix it together so that you kind of like thicken up the incoming paint and thin out the older paint. It's a good way to get the paint ready. Now, the issue is, of course, how often you use it, how often you leave it open. I try not to leave them open for very long, but I also don't paint much more than a couple hours at a time. So let's see how this is. It may be too thin. Nope. Might be not thin enough. It's okay though. So I'm not going to try to do, these are like gold, these circles on his, around his neck. I will probably just use if there's a good, I don't remember. I have all of the gold contrast speed paints. I wish they had, excuse me, not gold, but all the metallic speed paints. And they're pretty cool. they're not really, they're sort of speed paint. They are thin enough that when you paint them over a undercoat, it shows through. So it's pretty awesome. Now I put another coat there, which I really didn't want to do, but I had a bad finish there. You kind of want to wait. And these don't darken up as much as standard acrylics do when you paint them. Boy, those bottom teeth look terrible. I wonder if I touched that. I probably did with my finger. Gotta be careful. Right on his. Gotta clear that up if I can. It's a lot easier to clean that up than it is to clean up the other way around. Now I can still mess it up and get paint in where the where I painted the skin, but I tend to not have as much trouble doing that. Oof. Noticing little gaps here. Wow, it's too wet here. This is on the underside, but good gosh, it was pooling and I didn't catch it. Not good. You can see here I basically tore the paint, so I'll put a little bit more on, but I over applied it. Now it's on the underside, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I'm a little sad that I did such a nice job covering it, but I immediately turned it over and didn't pay attention to whether it was too much. And it might have gotten some more on it just from me applying around it. So let's try not to do that over here. Now I might be able to fix it up after it dries. But yeah, don't over apply. And you do want to apply it wet so that when you have larger surfaces, you get smoother results, but working on the wet edge. Wow, those teeth. I might be able to smooth that out. I've had that. It's coffee staining is one of the names for it. I've had that happen. And I have been able to cover it up by building it up a little bit. Again, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So this is a challenge. It's the top. Oh my gosh, I've got it all over him here. Somehow I touched it with my brush. Well, I'll be able to fix it up, I guess. What a mess. Keep them away. I do not want to have to paint the pink again, but I might have to. I mean, he is green. He should have some green to his mouth. I don't know. That's pretty funny. It's okay. But now I probably should paint his head since, wow, I wish I'd caught that. So yeah, it's a large surface that I kind of want to work to any of the edges before it's too dry. Well, we'll see here what happens with this. I'm going to try to paint delicately around the part that I've already painted here. Boy, that's funny. This brush is too big for this. Well, that sucks. Right on his eye. A bubble traveled over to his eye. So I'm going to have to touch that up. Now, I did get some green on his mustache, part of his beard. So I'm going to have to fix that too. Wow, terrible. Well, you get to see it all happen here. Mistakes and attempted recoveries. Where are we at here? 7:35. I probably should quit soon. Have some work to do for tomorrow. Boy, I cannot believe that. What a mess. So, a little bit of distilled water. Try to, oh wait, I have water. That I already, oh no, that's glaze. Not glaze, but medium. But I'm going to try to fix this. What a bonehead move, though. Did I paint any of his face? No, I was getting ready to do it. It's okay. Really probably should do it that way. Anyway, let it dry. Work on each segment. But you kind of need to work from edge to edge, so now this, I have no, oh wait, I do have a tiny bit of black. I can make this more gray. Now this is more like what the undercoats are. They're this type of black and this type of white, so. Okay. Yipes. I really should have the wet palette out. I'm doing way too much standard paints for this. Oh, that's so terrible. Really dumb. It's a little too wet too, but it should be fine if I just let it dry. I'll probably need another coat. That is hilarious, man. All over the teeth. Like I couldn't have done it better. I wonder what happened to the music. Let's see here. Start it over, I guess. Even though I should be wrapping it up. What is it doing here? Huh. I got it in his hair there. It's really a mess. I was probably applying too much to try to do it too fast. It's okay though. But you do want to avoid the pooling. You need to kind of really look at it. So I will come back and do a little bit of touch up with that when it's all dry. I'm going to continue with this green for a minute here. Not sure why there's less white here. I wonder what I did on that. Woof. So I'm gonna have to come back and touch up a little bit of this white to like make it look like the beard is going, you know, on his face a little bit more. It looks okay. This is the problem though. When you have this large of a surface here, you do get a little bit of, and it needs to be as smooth as you can get it, right? To get it to be, now, you know, it's skin, it's modeled. It should be okay. I don't have my Hulk that I painted previously, which was in the first box set of Marvel United. Woof. Oh, I was so happy with the guy. I think his was the best team. Ugh. Felt like that paint was pretty thick too, and it's getting on the tongue. So it's getting in there a little bit into the, where I did the wash. I'm so disappointed. I believe his were the best teeth. No, these are the best ones, I think, here. These are terrible, so let's fix that. So, you know, you want your paint to be thin enough to go off of the brush and everything. Oh, well. Yipes. Well, I'm getting there. Had a bit of a mess over here on this one. So let me look at it, see if I can fix his teeth a little bit more, because there's a lot of green in there. I don't know how I got that brush in there, man. That is just so silly. It's on his eye. I got it everywhere. Don't sneeze is correct. Let's fix that eye that I got green on. Fix, I should say in quotation marks, because look at that. Still too wet. Harump. So I've done a little bit of, you know, like lines, and I'll probably go back and do a little bit more after I color the, because the hair is kind of a brownish gray. I don't know if it's supposed to be gray or blonde, you know, like a pale hair. But I want his hair to kind of like be encroaching on his scalp, you know. As a matter of fact, you can see I actually got it on his beard there. Okay, see if I can get a little gray here. Reduce some of the intensity of whatever I spilled there on his beard. Okay, I will worry about the eye on that one later. And then I'll get back to painting his skin later as well. This guy, I got to do 3 of them. So, thanks everybody for joining me. I have a lot of cleanup to do. Hope everybody's doing well, has a good weekend. I'll be back on a paint stream on Tuesday, and then next Thursday we'll have another game night stream. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Let me see if there's somebody we can raid. I wish there was like a quick jump to the streaming manager. Is that what this is called? Let's see here. Stream manager, yeah, it's a separate, it should, well, I don't know, maybe it could be a pop out. It's a little slow. Ooh, let me put that knife back. And let's see who's out. Streaming. Time Roller's probably out. Bored at Home is streaming. Let's go to Bored at Home. Anybody that's on Twitch, I don't know how many people we actually have watching, but if you want, you can click on through to join Bored at Home. Why don't you say hello to everybody for me? And let's try it here. Wow, did it go away? Huh, that's weird. Let me do that again. Awesome. Okay, everybody. I'm going to start that raid. If you want, just click on through to join. I'm sure there's not that many folks, but thanks for joining me. Thanks for the chatter. Hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you all next week. Bye, everybody. And then YouTube folks, thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate the talk. It's been great. Even though it was a small amount of folks, it was good. And you guys have a great weekend as well, and try to have find something fun to do and stay warm if it's cold. I do not know what is going on there. There we go.